जीवन्मुक्तिप्रदं देवं क्षमापूर्णं जगद्गुरुं वन्दे परमहंसाख्यं नित्यानन्दाय स्वागतं। जीवन्मुक्तिप्रदं देवं क्षमापूर्णं जगद्गुरुं वन्दे परमहंसाख्यं नित्यानन्दाय स्वागतम्। आनन्दानुभवास्वादं सर्वरोगनिवारकं वन्दे पापविनाशक्तं नित्यानन्दाय स्वागतम्। आनन्दानुभवास्वादं सर्वरोगनिवारकं वन्दे पापविनाशक्तं नित्यानन्दाय स्वागतम्। नित्यमुक्तं निर्विकल्पं ध्यानलोकप्रदीपकम्।
ಪರಮಹಂಸ ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದರು ನಮ್ಮ ಯುಗದ ಒಬ್ಬ ಅಭೂತಪೂರ್ವ ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮಿಕ ಶಕ್ತಿ, ಅಂತಾರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮಿಕ ಸಮಾಜದ ಆಂದೋಲನದ ಸಂಸ್ಥಾಪಕರು, ಆಧುನಿಕ ವೈದಿಕ ನವೋದಯದ ಪ್ರಥಮ ಅನ್ವೇಷಕ, ಪವಿತ್ರ ಊರಾದ ತಿರುವಣ್ಣಾಮಲೈನಲ್ಲಿ ಜನ್ಮ ತಾಳಿದ ಒಬ್ಬ ಯೋಗಿ, ಕೆಚ್ಚೆದೆಯ ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮಿಕ ಸಂಶೋಧಕ, ದೈವಶಕ್ತಿಯ ಮಾರ್ಗದರ್ಶಕ ಜ್ಯೋತಿ. ಪರಮಹಂಸ ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದರು ಇಂದು ಪ್ರಾಚೀನ ರಹಸ್ಯಾರ್ಥ ಯೋಗ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನದ ಪಥದಲ್ಲಿರುವ ಲಕ್ಷಾಂತರ ನಿಪುಣರಿಗೆ ಸ್ಫೂರ್ತಿದಾಯಕರಾಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮಿಕತೆಯ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನದ ಸಂಶೋಧನಾಕಾರ, ಆತ್ಮ ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ಕಾರ ತೋರುವ ಗುರುಗಳು. ಅವರ ವಿವೇಕದ ಸಂಪತ್ತು, ಅವರ ನಗುವಿನ ಆ ಸಂತಸ ಹಾಗೂ ಅವರ ಅದ್ವಿತೀಯ ದೀಕ್ಷೆಯ ಶಕ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಪ್ರತಿ ವರ್ಷ ಪರಮಹಂಸ ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದರು ಪ್ರಪಂಚದಾದ್ಯಂತ ಸುಮಾರು 1 ಕೋಟಿ ಜನರೊಡನೆ ಹಂಚಿಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಈಗ ಪರಮಹಂಸ ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದರು ಜೀವನ್ಮುಕ್ತಿಯ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ಆನಂದಮಯ ಜೀವನಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಪರಿಹಾರಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತನಾಡಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಮರೆಯಲಾರದ ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮಿಕ ಅನುಭವವನ್ನು ಕೈಗೊಳ್ಳೋಣ ಬನ್ನಿ.
ಸರ್ವಧರ್ಮ ಪ್ರಣೇತಾರಂ ಸಚ್ಚಿದಾನಂದರೂಪಿಣಂ ವಂದೇ ಸನಾತನಂ ಪುಣ್ಯಂ ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದಾಯ ಸ್ವಾಗತಂ. ವೇದ ವೇದಾಂತ ಸಂವೇದ್ಯಂ ದೇವದೇವಿ.
ಪರಿತ್ರಾಣಾಯ ಸಾಧೂನಾಂ ವಿನಾಶಾಯ ಚ ದುಷ್ಕೃತಾಂ ಧರ್ಮ ಸಂಸ್ಥಾಪನಾರ್ಥಾಯ ಸಂಭವಾಮಿ ಯುಗೆ ಯುಗೆ. Still there is so much need to be told about this verse. In every one of you, incarnation of innermost intelligence happens. See, your inner awakening is the incarnation happening in you. When the inner awakening happens in you, spiritual cognition is protected and promoted. That is what is sadhu. Mood swings and dilemma is destroyed. Mood swings and dilemma is destroyed. That is the dushkritam. Spiritual cognition is protected and encouraged. Mood swing and dilemma is destroyed. Dharma samsthapanarthaya means establishment of the body language of the living enlightenment. That is what is exactly meaning of the dharma. When the Jivan Mukti, living enlightenment, is expressed physically, whatever that body does is dharma. The living enlightenment is expressed physically in you. That is the dharma samsthapanartham. Sambhavami yuge yuge. Age after age, incarnation happens in you. This sutra will match for the individual you and for the cosmos you. Both. Sadhunam, the quality of spiritual cognition. I tell you, the greatest wealth in the life is spiritual cognition. When you are cornered, when you are in crisis, when you are suffering, don't think money is security. Spiritual cognition is security. Making decisions out of spiritual understanding is the ultimate security. Don't try to go and catch money thinking that is security. try to catch the spiritual cognition, means taking decision out of spiritual understanding. If you are not able to make any decision, suffering is too much, at least surrender to the spiritual understanding. When you are cornered, when you are in crisis, when you feel nothing else is there in the life, all major things are taken away. If you run and hide yourself into the spiritual cognition, you are a Brahmana. If you run and hide and try to find security in money, you are a Vaishya. If you run and hide and try to find security in power, you are a Kshatriya. If you run into unconsciousness, either, like an elephant runs while you throw the crackers and finally destroy themselves. If you are running like that, you are a Shudra. Understand, when you are cornered, suddenly when major support in your life is taken away, how you behave is your original face. If you take all the decisions based on tremendous spiritual understanding, you are a Brahmana. Spiritual cognition is the sadhu in you. Awaken the sadhu in you. Real freedom is not having suffocation inside. Till your cognizance is completely soaked in spirituality, till all your understanding about you, life, everything becomes the spiritual cognition, there will be suffocation in you. Freedom in life is spiritual cognition, not anything else. Anything else, if you think as freedom, you are in dilemma. You are that wild elephant running either and either because the crackers are behind you. More than wild elephant, I can give you one more example. The donkey's tail, the village boys will tie the crackers and put fire also. When it busts, he doesn't even know what is happening. I tell you, ignorance is 1,000 mala tied in your tail. You don't even know. Ignorance is 1,000 mala firework tied in your tail. Taking spiritual decisions, taking spiritual cognizance, I tell you, is the ultimate wealth you can accumulate. Spiritual freedom is the ultimate wealth, ultimate understanding. Other than that, anything you call it as wealth destroys your life. I am trying to define and create spiritual freedom in every human being. I have picked up 108 major truths. If you understand this 108 and start making all the decisions based on any one or few of these truths in your life, you have a spiritual cognition. Once that 108 concepts are over, more precisely I can explain to all of you what is spiritual cognition, what is living enlightenment. It's nothing but having the spiritual understanding, making all your decisions based on the spiritual understanding. That is the sadhu. See, when you make any decision, it should be just liberating you from your suffocation and your suffocation from you. Your suffocation also suffers by you. Understand? It is not that your suffocation enjoys you. It's both of you holding on to each other. Your suffocation tortures you, you torture your suffocation. Sadhu means not getting tortured and not torturing others. Neither you torture others, nor others torture you. Paritranaya sadhuna, protection of the integrated and honest ones, always need to be protected, promoted, projected. There is so much to tell about this one verse. The spiritual cognition in you is sadhu. Confusion and dilemma and suffocation is dushkrita. Dharma samsthapanartha means establishing yourself in the body language of living enlightenment.
ಕಲ್ಪತರು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಕುಂಡಲಿನಿ ಜಾಗೃತಿಯ ಶಕ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಕಂಡುಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಕುಂಡಲಿನಿ ಎಂದರೇನು? ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬ ಮನುಷ್ಯನಲ್ಲೂ ಸುಪ್ತವಾಗಿ ಅಡಗಿರುವ ಅಸಾಧಾರಣ ಸಾಮರ್ಥ್ಯವೇ ಕುಂಡಲಿನಿ ಶಕ್ತಿ. ಒಬ್ಬ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಗುರುಗಳ ದೀಕ್ಷೆಯಿಂದ ಈ ಕುಂಡಲಿನಿ ಶಕ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಜಾಗೃತಗೊಳಿಸಬಹುದು. ಒಮ್ಮೆ ಕುಂಡಲಿನಿ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಜಾಗೃತಗೊಂಡರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಜೀವನದ ಪ್ರತಿ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರಗಳಲ್ಲೂ ಪರಿವರ್ತನೆ ತರುವ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಅದಕ್ಕಿದೆ. ಹಾಗೂ ಅದು ನಿಮಗೆ ಆರೋಗ್ಯ, ಸಂಪತ್ತು, ಯಶಸ್ಸು, ಸಂತೋಷಭರಿತ ಸಂಬಂಧಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮಿಕ ಜ್ಞಾನೋದಯವನ್ನು ತಂದುಕೊಡುತ್ತದೆ. ಧ್ಯಾನ ಹಾಗೂ ದೀಕ್ಷೆಗಳ ಶಕ್ತಿಯ ಬಳಕೆಯನ್ನು ಕಂಡುಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಕುಂಡಲಿನಿ ಜಾಗೃತಿಯ ಒಂದು ಇಣುಕು ನೋಟವನ್ನು ಕಲ್ಪತರು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಅನುಭವಿಸಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಭವಿಷ್ಯವನ್ನು ರೂಪಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಪ್ರತಿ ವಾರಾಂತ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ. ಸ್ಥಳ ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದ ಧ್ಯಾನಪೀಠ, ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದ ನಗರ, ಬಿಡದಿ, ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು.
Arjuna said, your birth is posterior and the birth of the sun is remote, past. How do I comprehend that the science of intense action was uttered by you in the beginning? Now, the greatness of Krishna is he is going to answer this question. But of course, Krishna's greatness lies in that. Arjuna is asking, I used to think in those days kings also used to be introduced to the mysteries of life. Especially to be an archer, you need to know the knowledge of past life. Archery is not just the art related to the outer goal alone. See, if you are a master archer, your inner space will be so fine-tuned and sharpened. Any mysteries of life, the moment you concentrate, you will understand it. Arjuna is a great archer. I don't know how he managed this dumbness and archery together. There is a very beautiful Bodhidharma Sutra, and his follower, Bodhidharma's followers, Saraha, one lady enlightened master who was supposed to be highly awakened soul. In her songs, she writes very beautifully. She's a Buddhist tantric, Tibetan Buddhist tantric. When you send the arrow, not only that the understanding of that goal gets engraved in your system, that ability to understand the goal itself gets engraved in your system. See, if you have to attack a point, a goal, you need to understand what is the distance, where it is exactly. From long distance, your inner space need to come to many conclusions. What is the distance, height, length, and the speed with which you need to send the arrow to attack that point? So many extrasensory alignments need to happen for archery. That is why the Saraha describes, when you practice archery, it is not just the outer world extrasensory perceptions are awakened. That awakened extrasensory perceptions are used in the inner world also. The very understanding to perceive the goals is achieved. See, for example, for you to eat, so many things need to be coordinated. The distance between your mouth and the hand, and the angle in which your hand has to travel to put the food in the mouth, otherwise you may put it in the nose or in your eyes. The angle in which your hand needs to travel to reach the mouth very smoothly. So many understanding need to happen in you. After all, the hand and mouth both are inside you. Even for this, so much coordination is needed. Still, many fellows, in the darkness, they can't eat, whether you are putting in the mouth or nose. Even is eating which is between your own body, your hand, your mouth. Even this needs so much of coordination. Sending the arrow somewhere and attacking needs a lot of coordination. Your extrasensory perception, your seventh sense need to be awakened. Calculating, judging, perceiving, making decision, and sending the arrow. So many things need to be coordinated. Archery is one of the art where any idea you will be able to grasp once you master archery. Because the concentrated mind is required to be a successful archer. That intense concentrated mind will be straightaway useful in understanding the great truths of life, getting enlightened. And I want all of you to know, in all the post-Pandya spiritual traditions, archery was used. Archery into the science of enlightenment was introduction by Meenakshi. Meenakshi introduced the archery into the enlightenment science. All the post-Pandya civilizations, Pallava, of course, from Pallava civilization, the archery traveled to China through Bodhidharma. From China, went to Zen. Source of Zen archery is Meenakshi.
ಓರ್ವ ಅವತಾರ ಪುರುಷರಿಂದ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಜೀವನಕ್ಕೆ ದಿವ್ಯ ಮಾರ್ಗದರ್ಶನ ನೇರವಾಗಿ ಬೇಕೇನು? ಪ್ರಸ್ತುತಪಡಿಸುತ್ತಿದ್ದೇವೆ, ಕರೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಪರಮಹಂಸರೊಡನೆ ಮುಖಾಮುಖಿ.
ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದ ಹಿಯರ್.
ಇಡೀ ಜಗತ್ತಿಗೆ ಪರಮಹಂಸ ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದರು ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಅಪೂರ್ವವಾದ ಹಾಗೂ ಅಸದೃಶವಾದ ಉಡುಗೊರೆಯನ್ನು ನೀಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
Got practically everything and too much for a phone call.
ಪ್ರತಿದಿನ ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ ನಡೆಯುವ ಸತ್ಸಂಗದ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗಳಿಗೂ ನೇರವಾಗಿ ಉತ್ತರ ನೀಡಲು ಅವರು ಲಭ್ಯವಿರುವರು.
No, you ask anything you want in your life. Ask me any boon you want.
ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ 8 ಗಂಟೆಯ ನಂತರ +918027279999 ಗೆ ಕರೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿಯವರೊಂದಿಗೆ ಮಾತನಾಡುವ ಅದೃಷ್ಟ ನಿಮ್ಮದಾಗಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಹಾಗೂ ntv.nityananda.org ಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇದರ ನೇರ ಪ್ರಸಾರವನ್ನು ವೀಕ್ಷಿಸಿ. ಕಲ್ಪತರು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಜೀವನದಿಂದ ಒತ್ತಡವನ್ನು ತೆಗೆದುಹಾಕುತ್ತದೆ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕೆಲಸದ ಗುಣಮಟ್ಟವನ್ನು ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ನಿಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟತೆಯ ಹಾಗೂ ನಿರ್ಧಾರ ಮಾಡುವ ಗುಣಮಟ್ಟವನ್ನು ವೃದ್ಧಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಕಲ್ಪತರು ಅಪರೂಪ ಅವತಾರ ಪುರುಷರಾದ ಪರಮಹಂಸ ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದರಿಂದ ವೈಯಕ್ತಿಕವಾಗಿ ಆಶೀರ್ವದಿಸಲ್ಪಟ್ಟ ಒಂದು ದಿನದ ಪರಿವರ್ತನಕಾರಿ ಹಾಗೂ ಉಪಶಮನಕಾರಕವಾದ ಒಂದು ಅನನ್ಯ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ. ಧ್ಯಾನ ಹಾಗೂ ದೀಕ್ಷೆಗಳ ಶಕ್ತಿಯ ಬಳಕೆಯನ್ನು ಕಂಡುಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಕುಂಡಲಿನಿ ಜಾಗೃತಗೊಳ್ಳುವಿಕೆಯ ಒಂದು ಇಣುಕು ನೋಟದಿಂದ ಶಾಶ್ವತವಾದ ದೈಹಿಕ ಹಾಗೂ ಮಾನಸಿಕ ಪರಿವರ್ತನೆಯನ್ನು ಅನುಭವಿಸಿ. ಉಲ್ಲಾಸಭರಿತ ಮತ್ತು ಯಶಸ್ಸಿನ ಜೀವನದತ್ತ ಮೊದಲ ಹೆಜ್ಜೆಯನ್ನು ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಕಲ್ಪತರು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಭವಿಷ್ಯವನ್ನು ರೂಪಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಪ್ರತಿ ವಾರಾಂತ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದ ಧ್ಯಾನಪೀಠ, ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದ ನಗರ, ಬಿಡದಿ, ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು. ಕರೆ ಮಾಡಿ 8277490093 9742220311 www.nityananda.org ಗೆ ಭೇಟಿ ನೀಡಿ.
Archery needs so much of understanding, concentration, ability to perceive the higher truths. I don't know what is happening to this Arjuna. Is he in some low mood, depression? Otherwise, a person like Arjuna, no doubt Arjuna is the greatest archer. He has conquered Shiva. Please understand. Shiva came to test Arjuna's archery powers. Actually, Shiva got defeated. No, he's an extraordinary archer, no doubt. But how did he not understand with that power of concentration this great truth of past birth or the Krishna's honesty? I'm really surprised. But I tell you, after reading this verse, I can forgive anybody, any of my disciple. When I read this verse, I felt, what is the constitution of Arjuna? What material Arjuna is made of? I really wanted to know, because he's a great guy. See, in whole Mahabharata, nobody is attributed with the different language skills. Vyasa is not speaking at all about different language skills in 18 of his Puranas. Only when he describes Arjuna, he says, the man who can speak all the languages used in 54 deshas. See, during the time of Mahabharata, 54 human settlement was there. Man who can speak all the languages of all the 54 deshas. Only to Arjuna, Vyasa gives this title. In that 18 Puranas, nowhere there is a mention other than the Sanskrit, some languages existed at that time. Only when Vyasa is describing Arjuna, he describes the person with the ability of multiple languages. See, it is not that easy to learn languages in those days. There is no straight DVD kits. See, picking up a language was not a joke in those days. You need to go and be in that society, because there was no DVD available or books available. I don't know how many years really Arjuna lived. Or there must be some other mystical way only you should have downloaded those languages. Vyasa is not even telling, either in Mahabharata or in Bhagavata, Krishna had ability to speak multiple languages. No. Nowhere there is mention. Nowhere there is record that Krishna had ability to speak multiple languages. But only about Arjuna he says, man who can speak multiple languages. Because when all of them wanted to come to Rameshwaram for Tirtha Yatra to see Ramanatha Swami, they wanted to have the whole army and for their protection. But they were all at that time in the forest, so they can't get the army. They are already in the exile. But Arjuna says, I know the language, let's go. So Arjuna brings all of them. During that exile period, they come up to Trigonamalai, they go. Arjuna and the whole Pandavas, they go. Still in Trigonamalai, there is a place called Pandava Kufa, where Pandavas stayed. Anyhow, the man who can speak multiple languages, and another one very important description Vyasa gives about Arjuna, he was so handsome, even men will fall for him. Not just women, even men will fall for him. That handsome man, charismatic person, extraordinary power of concentration. Please understand, his ability of archery crosses even Rama's. Because for marrying Sita, he only broke the Shivadhanus, Shiva's bow. But with Arjuna's case, he has to tie the rope. See, basically bending the bow and putting the rope is the competition. When Rama was doing that, the whole bow broke. With Arjuna, he did that job without breaking the bow. And the very funny thing is, above, see, there was a huge pillar. Above the pillar, one fast moving chakra. Above the chakra, one small fish. He has to attack the eye of the fish without disturbing the chakra, not looking above, looking below, seeing the reflection of that fish in water. He did it.
ಖಿನ್ನತೆ ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಕೊಲ್ಲುತ್ತಿದೆಯೇ? ಭವಿಷ್ಯವನ್ನು ಎದುರಿಸಲು ನಿಮಗೆ ಭಯವಾಗುತ್ತಿದೆಯೇ? ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹಿಂದಿನ ನೆನಪುಗಳು ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಕಾಡುತ್ತಿವೆಯೇ? ಇವೆಲ್ಲಕ್ಕೂ ಮೂಲ ಕಾರಣ ಬಾಲ್ಯದಿಂದಲೇ ಸಮಾಜವು ನಿಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಸೃಷ್ಟಿಸಿರುವ ನಕಾರಾತ್ಮಕವಾದ ಮನೋವೃತ್ತಿ, ಅಂದರೆ ಸಂಸ್ಕಾರಗಳು. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗಳಿಂದ ಹೊರಬರಲು ಒಂದೇ ಮಾರ್ಗವೆಂದರೆ ಈ ನಕಾರಾತ್ಮಕ ಮನೋವೃತ್ತಿಗಳನ್ನು ನಾಶಗೊಳಿಸುವುದು. ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದ ಸ್ಫುರಣ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಪ್ರಬಲಯುಕ್ತವಾದ ಧ್ಯಾನ ತಂತ್ರಗಳ ಹಾಗೂ ಪ್ರಕ್ರಿಯೆಗಳ ಮೂಲಕ ನಿಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಆಳವಾಗಿ ಬೇರೂರಿರುವ ನಕಾರಾತ್ಮಕ ಮನೋವೃತ್ತಿಗಳಿಂದ ಮುಕ್ತಗೊಳ್ಳಲು ಸಹಾಯ ಮಾಡುತ್ತದೆ.
Your life is basically bliss. Anything you feel other than bliss is a samskara, engraved memory. These 4 days I am going to remove those engraved memories from you.
ಮಗುವಾಗಿದ್ದಾಗ ನೀವು ಅನುಭವಿಸಿದ ಆ ನಿರ್ಮಲವಾದ ಮುಗ್ಧತೆಯ ಆನಂದವನ್ನು ಮತ್ತೆ ಕಂಡುಕೊಳ್ಳಲು ಒಂದು ಮಹತ್ತರವಾದ ಅವಕಾಶ. ದಿನಾಂಕ ಮಾರ್ಚ್ 1 ರಿಂದ 4, 2012. ಸ್ಥಳ ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದ ಧ್ಯಾನಪೀಠ, ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದಪುರಿ, ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದ ನಗರ, ಮೈಸೂರು ರಸ್ತೆ, ಬಿಡದಿ, ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು. ದೂರವಾಣಿ ಸಂಖ್ಯೆ 1800-425-22333, 0974-220-3311.